Hi, Steve Adubato here at the Tisch WNET studio in the heart of New York City. We are pleased to welcome from South Orange, New Jersey, actually originally from Philly.
Yep.
Made it really big. He is Tariq Trotter, rap artist, entrepreneur, co-founder of The Roots, and part of the house band for The Tonight Show with, who's that guy?
Jimmy
Fallon. Yeah, too bad he hasn't made it big yet. He is just huge. And also the co-founder of a wonderful grassroots organization called GrassROOTS Community Foundation. It's a not-for-profit. It is an honor to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Talk to us about this gig you have every night with Jimmy Fallon.
I mean, you know, it's a blessing. You know, it's just a wonderful gift that has been bestowed upon us that, you know, allows us to interact with, you know, artists that we've always idolized and always wanted to work with, and vice versa. Mm. And, you know, it allows us to do so in a super fun environment. You know, we're Questlove and myself, who we both founded The Roots together. We're pretty much comedy nerds who grew up on SNL. So
comedy nerds?
Yeah. We're like comedy geeks, you know. Who when we were in high school, I mean, it was very much about, you know, SNL and the comedy that takes place in Rockefeller Center for us. So it's just you know, it's a crazy, you know, it's come full circle in the fact that now we work there every day.
It's interesting, when I looked at your background and tried to understand the Philly connection, The Roots. For people who don't understand the history of The Roots, describe that that group and why it's so significant. The
Roots, yeah, we're a Philadelphia band first and foremost. There are many members now, people who play in the band who are not from Philly. They're from other places, but I've always been, you know, known to, like, once you've been welcomed into the fold of The Roots, then you're like an honorary Philadelphian. I don't really care where you're from. So we're, you know, The Roots from Philly. That's how they were billed on The Tonight Show. And
is there something about Philly?
Yeah, well, there's something in the soul of Philadelphia. Some might say there's something in the water in Philadelphia. I definitely feel like, you know, if you can make it there. Same thing they say about New York. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. But it really rings true in Philadelphia. So yeah, you know, we've been together since 1987. That's when this band was founded. And
you were just a kid.
Yeah, very much so. But still
so
going
fast forward. You know, the whole Jimmy Fallon thing happens. How does it happen? Because he could have had, NBC could have had any band.
Right.
They picked you guys.
I mean, I think The Roots, we just occupy a very unique place in pop culture where, you know, we've always been recognized as, you know, the glue that kind of, you know, holds together, you know, all these different worlds, you know, so, yeah, I mean, though NBC could have gone with any other band, I don't know that any band would have really transcended, you know, age and genre and so on and so forth in the way that The Roots has been able to.
I'm sorry, talk about the comedy piece, because you talked about you love comedy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but the rapping piece, put together the rap piece, the comedy piece, and then the slow jamming piece, because now Barack Obama has done it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Is it Mitt Romney's done it, and
Chris Christie.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Slow jam.
I'll slow jam the news with Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, Barack Obama, Mitt Romney.
Describe for people who haven't seen Slow Jam in the News.
Lots.
Brian Williams is a good one.
Yeah.
What is it?
Slow Jam in the News is, you know, a comedic take on delivering, you know, the current state of affairs, so to speak. It's like, you know, we take serious, usually political news, and deliver it a la a CNN or whatever other news outlet. But
PBS.
Yeah, PBS.
We just have to say that.
But yeah, and then I after it's you get the serious spin on it. You get Jimmy. He'll make like a funny commentary a la, I don't know, Barry White-ish sort of thing on it, and then I'll literally sing, some of it.
How much of it is rehearsed, prepped, and how much of it is you just doing it on the fly?
It's all rehearsed when we slow jam the news. Yeah, we rehearsed it earlier.
With the guests?
Earlier that day.
So hold on, Mitt Romney,
yeah.
Barack Obama, Chris Christie, Jeb Bush, they're rehearsing with you?
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
They come around earlier in the day. I mean, once people agree to do it, they want to do it right. So, just to be sure that they don't mess it up, you got to run through it.
Your favorite?
I would have to say Barack Obama.
Why?
He just emits a certain type of cool. And when we slow jam the news with President Obama, it was outside the studio. I think we were like on a college campus in North Carolina. I think it may have been NC State. But it was a different energy that kind of came along with it that day.
It's interesting. You growing up in Philadelphia, did you know you wanted to go into, what did you know, or what did you think you wanted to go into? Was it, say, just music? Was it comedy? Was it, because you didn't say, hey, I want to be in the band for the Tonight Show.
Yeah, no, I absolutely didn't. I never imagined in my wildest dreams that this is,
So what were the dreams?
I wanted to be a visual artist, I wanted to be a painter, and I wanted to have a career in maybe graphic design to fall back on if, my artwork, didn't sell. So I went to art school. I went to art school on the weekends, on Saturdays. I went to art camp in the summer, and that was growing up. And then that brought me into the High School for Creative and Performing Arts at a very magical time.
Sure.
Like, I was in high school doing the visual art. I was a visual arts major, but I was in school with Joey DeFrancesco, who's like, one of the greatest pianists, in the world, right now. And he was then too.
But you're connected now. Sorry for interrupting. You're connected now to the Philly Arts Program?
Well, yeah. Now we have a program in that same high school. It's called the Kappa Foundation.
What is it trying to do?
Just trying to, give an outlet for students where they've lost programming in the public school system.
What about the murals? The kids also paint murals as well?
Well, yeah, some of the Kappa kids do murals, but I'm also active in the Philadelphia Mural Arts Board, which is, if you go to Philly, there are, close to 4,000 murals that, just are all over the city on walls of dilapidated and abandoned buildings where they take it and, flip it they'll put a park there and put a mural on the wall. So, yeah, I'm one of the kids who, I grew up in that program when it was called the Philadelphia Anti-Graffiti Network.
The Anti-Graffiti Network?
Yeah, in the early 80s. And now I'm one of the people on the board.
For you, growing up, we were talking about this before we got on the air. You grew up in Philly. I grew up in Newark.
Yeah.
Let's just say that they're not exactly the same, but...
they're a lot alike.
In a lot of ways?
Yeah.
For you, what did the arts mean?
The arts for me was an escape. It was from the environment that I was kind of born into. It wasn't. Growing up wasn't easy. I lost my father before the age of 2. I lost my mother at the age of 16, and people who experience the sort of thing that I had experienced as a youth don't, statistically normally wind up as a TV personality.
You weren't supposed to be here?
I don't think. I guess I was supposed to be here
by the odds.
I'm here, but yeah, going by the odds, no.
You think there was a different plan for you?
Apparently, yeah. There was something different in the cards.
Well, you're also helping other people every day. Tell us about your nonprofit.
I mean, it's just important for me to, to help, whoever I'm able to, whenever I'm able to, because it was, after school.
You created a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Say the name of it.
The GrassROOTS Community Foundation.
We're actually going to put up the site as you talk about the GrassROOTS.
Yeah, GrassROOTS Community Foundation.
Talk about it.
It's a foundation that I started with a good friend of mine, Dr. Janice Johnson-Dias, about 6 years ago. And, we started it just to service communities that we identify with, that being Philadelphia and, the Newark and the Oranges area of New Jersey, because that's where we both live, in Philadelphia because that's where we, kind of know each other from. And just to provide, an outlet and an opportunity to school-age girls and their families who otherwise wouldn't have had it,
Before I let you go, one thing about Jimmy Fallon that we don't know.
One thing about Jimmy, maybe folks know this, but, Jimmy is, honestly, he's probably the nicest person in show business that I've interacted with. And, I've been around for quite some time. I've interacted with a lot of people. One thing that I don't really rock with is, fakeness. And, from day one, Jimmy has been very real and has always come from a really sincere place. He's a sweet guy. So, I feel like everyone kind of knows this, though. But, just if you didn't know, yeah, he's one of the coolest people in the business.
Thanks for sharing. Finally, next up for The Roots?
Next up for The Roots, we're working on a project now, in light of all of the recent success of the Hamilton musical on Broadway, of which we're executive producers of some of the music that's involved with the production. We're, trying to produce something else, very possibly for Broadway from the ground up, with some people of note.
Keep us apprised of what's happening.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely.
I wish you nothing but the best.
Oh, no. Thanks for having me.
Tariq Trotter. It says rap artist, entrepreneur, and co-founder of The Roots, the house band for The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, but you're a lot more than that.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you,
Stay
man.
there.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We're right back from the Tisch WNET studio right after this. Thank you so much.
One on One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One on One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Englewood Hospital and Medical Center, Wells Fargo, Delta Dental of New Jersey, New Jersey Council of County Colleges, PSE&G, the Mental Health Association in New Jersey, and by Cone Resnick. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.